Walk down any street in New York, London, or San Francisco, and you'll see the same thing, a massive, invisible war for your attention. We live in a world that is always on. We pride ourselves on being busy. We answer emails while eating lunch. We check Slack while playing with our kids. And we feel a twitch of anxiety if our phone doesn't buzz for 10 minutes. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Being busy is not the same as being productive. In fact, for most of us, our busyness is actually a more sophisticated way of avoiding the work that actually matters. In the 21st century economy, your most valuable asset isn't your time. It's your attention. If you're a programmer, a writer, an architect, or an entrepreneur, your income and your impact depend on your ability to solve complex problems. And you cannot solve complex problems in 2-minute bursts between Instagram scrolls. This is where the concept of deep work comes in. It's the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. But for the modern professional, this has become almost impossible because our cognitive engine is constantly being interrupted. Let's talk about the science of why your quick check is stalling your cognitive engine. Most people think that if they glance at an email for 30 seconds and then go back to their main task, they've only lost 30 seconds. This is a lie. Psychologists call it attention residue. When you switch from task A to task B, your focus doesn't follow you immediately. A part of your mind stays stuck on that email you just read. It takes your cognitive engine an average of 20 minutes to fully reload back into the original task. If you check your phone every 15 minutes, you are operating at a fraction of your actual intelligence. In an interruptive world, the person who can protect their cognitive engine for 4 hours is essentially a superhero. In the US and UK, we've been sold a dream of multitasking, but science tells us the opposite. Multitasking is a biological myth. What you're actually doing is context switching, and it's exhausting your energy. By 2 p.m. you feel drained, not because you've done a lot of work, but because you've spent the whole morning switching gears. So how do we escape this trap? The solution isn't to try harder to focus. The solution is to build a fortress around your attention. The most successful people in the West don't have more willpower than you. They just have better systems. They understand that focus is a muscle that needs to be trained and a temple that needs to be protected. Over the next few parts of this series, I'm going to show you the architecture of deep work. We're going to talk about how to tune your cognitive engine to produce work that is so good, the world can't ignore you. It's time to stop reacting to the world and start creating in it. I'm Julian, and this is the EduMind Project. We talked about why your focus is failing. We identified the enemy, attention residue. But knowing the problem isn't enough. In the hyper-competitive markets of London, New York, or any digital hub, you need more than just willpower. You need a fortress. Willpower is a finite resource. If you rely on it to resist the urge to check your phone, you've already lost. Today, we're going to build the architecture of focus. The first pillar of your fortress is your environment. Your cognitive engine is highly sensitive to cues. If you work in the same place where you watch Netflix or scroll through social media, your brain is primed for distraction. The most successful professionals I know in the West have a sacred space. It doesn't have to be a big office. It can be a specific chair, a specific pair of headphones, or even a specific desk lamp. When that lamp is on, or those headphones are on, your cognitive engine knows the world is closed. The work has begun. This is about Pavlovian conditioning for high performance. The second pillar is radical elimination. There is a myth in our modern culture that we can manage notifications. You can't. Every red dot on your screen is a tactical strike against your focus. To enter a state of deep work, you must move your phone to another room. Not just face down on the desk, out of sight. When your phone is in another room, your switching cost becomes high. Your cognitive engine stops scanning for interruptions because the interruption is no longer easily accessible. This simple move can increase your productivity by 40% in a single session. The third pillar is time blocking. Deep work isn't an all-day event. Your cognitive engine has a peak performance window. Research suggests that for most high-level professionals, the limit is about 4 hours of true deep work per day. The gold standard? The 90-minute block. 90 minutes of zero distraction work, followed by 20 minutes of productive boredom. Walk. Stare at a tree. Wash the dishes. Do not check your phone during the break. If you check your phone, you trigger attention residue, and your next work block is ruined before it even starts. Building this fortress feels lonely at first. You'll feel the itch to check the news or see who messaged you. That itch is your brain detoxing from the dopamine loop. In the US and UK, the people who win are the ones who can tolerate being unavailable for a few hours. They are the ones who produce the code, the art, and the strategies that move the world. So here's your challenge for the next 24 hours. Pick one 90-minute window. Put your phone in another room. Turn on your focus cue and see what your cognitive engine is actually capable of. In the next, we're going to talk about the mental training, how to stay in the zone when the work gets hard. We've built the environment. We've set the timer. But now, we face the hardest part of the architecture. The part that happens inside your mind when the clock is ticking. The room is quiet, and your brain starts to scream for a distraction. In the US and UK, we are suffering from what I call digital boredom, phobia. We've lost the ability to simply be alone with our thoughts. And this, more than anything else, is what's holding your cognitive engine back from greatness. To master deep work, you don't just need a better desk. You need to rewire how you handle the itch of boredom. Think about your typical morning. In London or New York, you're waiting for the subway or standing in line for a Starbucks. What's the first thing you do? You pull out your phone. In that moment, you are teaching your cognitive engine that it never has to be bored. You are training it to expect a hit of dopamine every 30 seconds. Then, you sit down for deep work and wonder why you can't focus for more than 5 minutes. It's because you've trained your mind to be addicted to novelty. Deep work is often boring. It's slow. It's frustrating. If you can't handle the boredom of a 2-minute line at a coffee shop, you will never handle the boredom of writing a 50-page strategy or coding a complex algorithm. Here is the mental training protocol. First, schedule your distractions. Instead of scheduling deep work and letting the rest of the day be a mess, do the opposite. Decide exactly when you will check your emails or social media. Outside of those times, even if you are bored, even if you are waiting for a meeting to start, do not touch the phone. Embrace the silence. Let your cognitive engine rest in the dead time. This is where original ideas are born. Second, the fixed schedule productivity rule. In the high-pressure environments of the West, we often think that working until 10 p.m. makes us look like heroes. It doesn't. It makes us look inefficient. Set a hard stop. Tell yourself, I will finish everything by 5:30 p.m. This creates a productivity pressure that forces your mind to stay in deep work during the day. When the time is limited, your focus becomes unlimited. Why does all of this matter? Why go through all this trouble? Because the world is bifurcating. On one side, there will be the masses, the people who spend their lives reacting to notifications, living in a state of mental fog, and being replaced by AI because their work is shallow and easily replicated. On the other side, there will be the deep workers, the elite few who can lock their cognitive engine into a problem and solve it. These are the people who will lead, the people who will create, and the people who will be indispensable in the new economy. Deep work is not a productivity hack. It's a commitment to your own potential. You have the environment, the systems, and the mental training. Stop being busy. I'm Julian, and thank you for being part of the EduMind project. It's a way of life. If you've watched this 3-part series, you now have the blueprint. The only thing left is to start being impactful. I'll see you in the deep end. Comment below. How many hours a day do you spend on busy work? Be honest.